What's up, guys? Just wanted to post an update video on one of the new products I added this summer, and that would be the LoD Signature Series Shorty bumper with bull bar. They have many different configurations for this bumper. They have the Shorty stubby bumper like this one. They have a mid-width and a full length. They also have I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I believe it's called the Destroyer Series. This is the Signature Series. The Destroyer Series is very similar, but it has the winch mount on top of the bumper rather than recessed. So yeah, overall the bumper's pretty awesome. I ordered the bumper and the optional winch plate from Quadratech. I'll post links. I forget the prices. I think the bumper was around $650 and the skid plate was another $120. So definitely not your cheapest option, but one thing that I like about this bumper is it's made in the USA. It's solid steel, thick, all the welds look good. Weighs around, I believe they said, I don't know, around 100 pounds or so. But either way, what's cool about this bumper is it can retain your stock factory fog lights, which I wanted to do. And it also has numerous mounts for lights. So if you look right here, you can see there's some mounting holes here, and then up here you've got a whole rack for bars and light bars, light cubes, whatever you want to put on there. I obviously went with some cube lights here. These are some Quadratech floodlights. I'll go over those later, but those are actually pretty impressive lights. So the D-rings I purchased, I believe, off Amazon. If I can find them, I'll post a link. Probably 20 bucks or so. And then Colorado has a front license plate law, so I purchased this I believe it's a Tuffy flip up license plate holder. So that's pretty sweet. When you need to have your license plate, you can still have your winch there and hidden. So that's pretty cool. In addition, I got the Warn. This is the VR-10S Winch. So it's the 10,000 pound VR series with synthetic line. I would have liked the Xeon, but that price tag for how often I'm gonna need it was not quite what I was looking for. I probably could have even got away with a Quadratech or a Smitty build, but I don't know, we'll see. A couple other things I want to point out here is when I was searching for this bumper, I couldn't find very good information on dimensions and how far it sticks out, stuff like that. So notice I got my tape measure out here. I went ahead and did some measurements, and for those curious, from the fender to the furthest part of the bumper itself, not including the D-rings and all that, measured out to be 13 inches. Then you got another 2 inches for your D-rings and your mount, if you have that license plate mount. And then I also measured the width of it, which is 48 inches from the widest corner to the widest corner. Install was pretty easy. Their instructions on the Quadratech website were a little odd. They appeared to be some sort of hybrid combination of JK and JL instructions, but I was able to figure it out. It took me about 5 hours to do, but that was because I did it by myself and used mostly hand tools, and I was working from home that day, so I was bouncing between calls and doing stuff like that. So if you were doing it with someone else, I'd imagine it's a 2-hour job. If you've got experience and already know changing these bumpers out and you have an extra person, you could probably do it in an hour. Actually, one of the hardest things was The stock sport plastic bumper has these, inside of it, these retaining clips that hold a cover to get to these fog lights on. And that actually ended up being one of the hardest things for me to do. I had to, they have these little locking retainer clips that were pretty difficult to get off. I just took a drill to them and drilled them right off and pulled them off. So that, I think the whole setup, yeah, they listed it at the bumper at 98 pounds on their website. That seems about right. When it came shipped, it was shipped extremely well and protected really well, almost to a fault. They use this sort of, I guess it's some like spray in padding or foam stuff. I've never seen it before, but you could tell they put the bumper in the box and then they spray this stuff, and then the foam molds completely around the bumper. It probably took me 30 minutes to unpack this bumper from that box. That stuff did a great job for shipping, but it was a workout trying to get it unpacked. Also, another thing I see asked quite often is, did I get any sag in the front? And the answer is yes. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know I have a Sport with a Evo 2.5 inch spacer lift. So I'm using extensions and spacers. So I'm using the stock shocks, and basically the thing rides exactly as stock. It was mostly level. However, when I added the bumper and winch, yeah, it's definitely not level anymore. So if I take at about 38 inches in the front to the lowest part of the fender. Now if we look in the back, we're at about 39 1/4. See that there? What I'm doing is just measuring from the bottom of the tire to the middle lowest part of the fender here, which makes sense. That bumper's, you know, with the skid plate is at least 120 pounds. The winch, I believe, was 66 pounds. And that's actually one of the main reasons why I went with synthetic line over steel line. Is I believe it was like a nearly 30 or maybe even 40 pound difference between the steel line and the synthetic line. If you're wondering about my cover, this is just a Amazon one I found that had decent reviews. I don't know if we're up in my Amazon orders and post a link to that as well. It's been holding up fine. One thing I do want to point out about this is I noticed it'll trap water inside of it after rain, so I just keep it on there to keep the sun off the line, because apparently the UV rays are not good for the synthetic lines. So after it rains, I'll usually pull it off and just let it dry out for a while. One other thing I do want to point out, people often ask me, oh, how's the Jeep ride after you added the 2.5 inch lift and added the 315 tires, 315 7017s? And the answer to that is the tires and the lift basically had absolutely no effect. The thing drove exactly the same. The 8-speed automatic transmission does awesome for adjusting to that. However, when I added 180, 200 pounds worth of stuff to the front of the Jeep, I definitely noticed a dramatic well, I don't want to say dramatic, but it was a noticeable decrease in both braking and handling. It seemed to want to dive in, and yeah, it just definitely seems that was the biggest effector of ride quality, is that bumper and winch combo up there. So that's something also to keep in consideration. So, all right, well, that's a quick walk around of the bumper and with the skid plate, bull bar, got some lights mounted on there. I'll probably go over those in another video. And then the Warn winch. So if you have any questions, let me know.